Hi, friends. Welcome back to Budgeting Over 40. I'm Melissa, and today we're here to track our spending and check in on our current spending plan for the paycheck that I received on November 6th. So, budgeting is just one of the steps to create awareness of where your money is going and if it's actually doing what you originally planned. Let's jump in. So, all right, you guys, let's get right into these transactions. The first one is my paycheck. This came in on the 6th in the amount of $2,483.77. Now, I did do a paycheck allocation for this paycheck. If you haven't seen that video, I will have it linked in the cards or the description down below. Now, in that paycheck allocation video, I did speak about a gift that I received from one of my subscribers. This came through on Ko-Fi. The amount was $150, but after Ko-Fi and Stripe, I keep forgetting to tell you guys about Stripe. That's the way that I do get paid out from Ko-Fi. After they take their cut, I did bring home $145.35. And you could see off to the side right here, I'm extending my gratitude because I'm very thankful to have received that gift. Now, what that was earmarked to do was pay off my vacuum cleaner for $102.99, and I went right ahead and did that. So I am very, very thankful. Now I don't have to worry about the vacuum cleaner. There were two payments left on the installment, one for November and one for December. So this is now done, dusted, and packed away. Now, on the 6th, I did go and get my hair braided in the amount of $240, and I tipped my braider $25. Next, I did get a bill from Enterprise. This is on the 6th. This is a car expense, and this is a toll bill that came from our Canada trip that we took in September. So they did do the same thing last year when we got back home, and I guess they got their statement from the toll. They sent us a bill and charged $32.61 to my card. On the 6th, I did have to go to CVS and pick up prescription for my son and I because I did have to take him to the urgent care. So I spent $15 for the prescriptions and $30 for his wellness visit at the urgent care. So he has picked up a cold. He's getting a little bit better now, but he has asthma, and once he gets a cold, it's very difficult for him to breathe. So I wanted to rule out any kind of pneumonia or bronchitis. So I took him in to get his chest x-rayed. It's none of that. He just had a really bad cold. He's on the mend right now, and we had to pay $30 for the visit. That same day, I had an appointment with my gyno. I paid $25 for the copay. So that same day, I wanted to make him chicken soup. So I stopped at Stop and Shop and picked up some grocery items in the amount of $19.79 to prepare the soup. On the 7th, I made payments to Affirm. So $326.22 was to pay off Affirm number 2 in full. So we don't have to worry about that moving forward. And I paid for Affirm number 1 for $415.35. Now, in that paycheck allocation video, I did mention that it was payment number 6 of 12, but it's actually number 7 of 12. So in YNAB, I do have the transaction set to repeat, and for some reason, I had 6 of 12 in that transaction. So each time it repeats, it's going to say 6 of 12. So I have corrected that. We're on payment number 7. December is going to be payment number 8 because from January to April in 2026, we should only have 4 payments. And I've calculated that in my 2026 budget overview. I'll also link that video for you guys to see. On the 7th, I went to the bagel shop and picked up breakfast for $10. Then you could see here that I had to get fuel oil. This is the heating oil to heat our home and hot water. It cleared my credit card on the 7th. It was charged on the 6th for $605.82. I have $9.60 here, which is the amount of cash back that I got from charging this $605.82 to my card. I did apply this cash back directly to the balance, so less money came out of my paycheck to pay off that heating oil bill. On the 8th, I went to the bagel shop again for $6. And then this gray area here, you could see sent to savings. So I do have a SoFi checking account and a SoFi savings account. And on SoFi, there are vaults that you can split the money up into different buckets. I haven't been utilizing it that much, but my personal loan is through SoFi, and I did go ahead and open that checking account and savings account with them. I want to start prioritizing savings all over again because I have put that on the back burner and it has not been a priority. But moving into 2026, that's going to be something I have prioritized. I need to put money aside for savings as well as paying off debt. So I'm getting it in practice right now just so I can continue to do that in 2026. So I sent over $10 into those SoFi vaults. So a dollar went to cars, $2 went to home, $5 went to family. And you could see here there's a buffer in the SoFi checking. So I usually don't keep money in there, but I don't want them to close the account. So I put $2 here. I do have it listed as rollover because I don't have anything in my paycheck allocation spreadsheet or as a transaction for a buffer. This is something that I need to throw in as well. On the 9th, I did the business account inflow, and $3.98 is what stays over in my account. The inflow biweekly is 300. The expense for the business is $296.02. So 398 usually hangs out in my account to do whatever is needed at the time. But what I have decided to do, and I'm just going to skip down a few lines, I'm going to start to send that $3.98 to savings, which is what I did here. I sent it over to home. And this is what I'm going to do moving forward until that expense is fully paid. On the 10th, the SSI benefits came in for $1,375.50. Then I went back to the bagel shop, you guys. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. I spent $4.35. Then I did have to pay my propane bill to Paraco Gas for $177.99. On the 11th, I did send the money back to our home stash. This is in reimbursement for $200. We do have a small bit of money at home. It's not a lot, but just in case we need to have any cash on hand, because I usually don't carry cash, we do have the little bits at home that we only utilize it when it's needed, not often. On the 11th, I did take my son to the orthodontist for a check. He does have his braces on. We do have to check every so often. He likes to go and get Slurpees with me on the days that we go get his braces checked. So $8.47 was what we spent for Slurpees and a snack. On the 11th, I did get a payout from Ko-Fi. This is for any purchase on my Ko-Fi page for the spreadsheets that I do share there. I share this transaction log. I share my monthly budget spreadsheet. I also share my paycheck allocation spreadsheet. So if you're interested, take a look. There's a link in the description for my Ko-Fi page. On the 11th, I did order some clothing for both my littles for $42.71 at Carter's. And then I went to the local cafe and picked up dinner at work for $17.76. Then I paid BCCC, which is for the after school, for $80. On the 13th, which is today, Discover did withdraw their payment of $75. This is the minimum payment. I'm hoping I'll be able to pay some extra money towards Discover between now and the end of December. I want to cut the balance down to $2,000. With this $75 payment right now, the balance on the card is $2,403. I did also go in and made a $3 payment to bring it down to $400. So I want to be able to pay off $400 between now and the end of December because I only want to roll into 2026 with a balance of $2,000 to be able to pay that off then. If you haven't seen my 2026 budget overview, I speak in depth of what I expect to do in the coming year. So I will link that video in the cards and the description down below for you guys to take a look. So also earlier today, I did make a payment for an old copay to the ENT. This is for my son. Like I mentioned, he has asthma. He also has eczema and food allergies. Those three walk together. And I do have to take him to the ENT quite often to make sure, his allergies are what they are, that he can eat certain things or he should continue to stay away from certain things. So this copay is something that should have been paid already. I don't know what happened, but I went ahead and paid it because this is something that was supposed to be paid already. Then today I got another payout from Ko-Fi for $1.54. And then AGI Insurance took out the money for the renter's insurance for $43.75. So I am recording this video on the 13th. I'm going to hope to get this up for you guys to see today. And those are the transactions so far. So let's take a look at the paycheck allocation spreadsheet just to see where we are within this current pay period. So, all right, here we are. This is the pay period that we're in right now from the 6th to the 20th. Today, like I mentioned, is the 13th. So we still have 7 days within this pay period. And I don't think that we're doing terribly. So I still have $1,481.25 out of the money that I've brought in as income so far. We will do a summary of the income when I close out this paycheck budget. But let's go down into the fixed expenses and talk about what was budgeted versus what we've spent so far. So the car insurance has not been withdrawn or charged to my credit card just yet. Once it's charged and clear, I'll be able to pay it out of my account. So 252, we're still waiting. $44 was budgeted for the renter's insurance. I spent $43.75. Braces has not been charged just yet. It is due on the 15th. That's when they'll go ahead and charge it to my credit card. And likewise, as soon as it clears, I'll go ahead and make the payment. After school, I did budget the $80 and that was what was spent. Child support has not been sent just yet, so I need to send over $263 to my older daughter. So far for the fixed expenses, we've only spent $123.75. The budget is $864. So like I mentioned, we're not doing terribly. Now into the debt section, I did budget $272 for credit card minimums. So far, I've only spent $75. Moving down to Affirm, you could see that 743 was budgeted, but we only spent 741 and 57 cents because I do budget using round numbers. So moving down to the savings section, I didn't have anything budgeted in cars, but I sent $1. Nothing for family, but I sent $5. So into the home category, I did budget for $52 to pay the second installment on the vacuum cleaner, but we've spent and sent 108.97 over to savings. Now let's move down into variable expenses. Car expense, so far we've spent $32.61. Food, $66.37. Given, we're over right now for $25. Household consumable, we haven't spent anything just yet. For my babies, we are over at $42.71. Personal, we are over at $240. And wellness, we are over at $95. But the thing about it is, I did budget $800 in the variable expenses, and so far we've only spent $501.69. Moving down into miscellaneous. So for heating oil, I did budget $550 in this pay period, but you've heard about it. We've spent so far, and I think this is the only expense for heating oil this month. We filled the tank up for $605.82. Now this $550, I even boosted from what I had pre-planned on my November budget. So let's take a look. This is my November budget. The pre-plan was only $500, you guys. So even after boosting it, I still spent more than what I had pre-planned. So this is the area that I mentioned to you guys. We need to figure this out. For propane, $177.99 was spent. The reimbursement for $200 went back. And you could see this $2 rollover here. This is what I mentioned over here on the transaction log for what was sent to my SoFi checking account buffer. So that's it for right now, you guys. We still have $1,481.25 to spend within this paycheck period. We still have one more week to go, and I think that we could do it. So far, so good. We're on track. We're doing well. So, friends, this is the paycheck budget check in for the paycheck period that we're in right now. This is paycheck number 1 of November. We will come in and close this out when we receive our next paycheck, which I should be getting that on the 21st. So, thank you guys so much for taking the time out to watch this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye now.